The 12th president of Kent State University, Dr. Beverly Warren, is passionate about the field of higher education, especially its power to transform lives. She is leading the university through a transformation of its own, with a new strategic roadmap and vision that position Kent State as an exemplar of the new public research university, with a distinctive blend of teaching, research, and creative excellence. Please join me in welcoming President Beverly Warren.
Well, good morning, everyone. I can't begin to tell you how exciting it is to look out and see so many of you here. And so I want to be one of the first of many to say welcome to the Kent State family. We know you had lots of choices, even the choice of considering graduate study, advanced study, and you chose Kent State. So we're grateful for that. We're going to work very, very hard to make sure that you feel a part of a very special group. Because when I came here in 2014, I was so excited to be a part of the Kent State community, and I still feel that beginning my third year, and I think you will feel that as graduate students. Just think about this orientation session and all of the great advice that you're going to receive. But it's not only today and other days in the coming couple of weeks that you begin to learn how things work around here. Remember, we're a fairly large university, and it can be complex at times. But it's also being aware of how much of a support network that you have. So part of what I want to say beginning is a thank you, and I want you to join me in thanking the faculty and the staff and the graduate students, your colleagues, who really put together this orientation program. So staff who did that, students who did that, and faculty, thank you very much. Because you know, what I think we learn from this experience and those experiences as you embark on your graduate study is the importance of what many are calling the importance of team science. Because we know that the great discoveries in the world really occur when there are cross-disciplinary teams working at some of the world's greatest challenges. And those challenges aren't singular in their dimension, they're multidisciplinary. And so you're going to have that opportunity, one, to immerse yourself in your field of study. That is what graduate school is about. But I think in the modern American Research University, it is also reaching out across disciplinary lines to learn how we can work together to make a difference, to really better society through your new ideas, through what Provost Icahn said as the creation of new knowledge. That's your role in graduate study, and I'm so excited for you to have that opportunity. Many of you have come, perhaps from Ohio and Northeast Ohio, but many of you have come from across the globe to be here at Kent State University. And I want to say a warm welcome, whether you drove 5 miles or thousands of miles to be here with us today. We welcome you. And we welcome you with what we say, open arms, for who you are and what you bring to this community, but never forgetting that we're going to be pushing you to become more than you ever imagined. We're going to be pushing you to be those graduate students who really understand the importance of advanced study. And so while we're a large undergraduate population here at Kent State University, I want you to know that we are really focusing on the importance of graduate education. There are more than 5,500 graduate students here at Kent State University. And one of the things that we have said in this new strategic roadmap, and the provost and I are partners in helping to realize the academic side of that roadmap, is that we are going to enhance our research agenda. And we're going to focus on the importance of research and the importance of universities like Kent State University really supplying that applicable, very transformational but translational research that is applicable in the real world. And so we will be asking you about relevance as you continue your graduate studies. Now that might seem like an oxymoron because in graduate study we also ask you to dive deeply into a very narrow range of study that no one else has studied. But keep in mind there's a big picture to all of this. And one of the ways that we're trying to realize that big picture is the creation of what are going to be 5 centers of research distinction over the next year and the next 5 years. You will be the first graduate students to be a part of that evolution here at Kent State. The first research center that we will be forming will be in the area of brain health. But we will be exploring, even in this academic year, the other 4 centers that are going to be material science, environmental science and design, population health, and global understanding. And so you can see from even the titles of these research centers of distinction, we believe in that concept of team science. So let me give you an example of that as we think about brain health. We are going to call on scholars like Dr. Catherine Rawson and Dr. Doug Delahanty to bring psychology into the realm of brain health. These are researchers who are leaders in their field in cognition and memory recall, and in stress disorders and the treatment of traumatic stress disorders. Now, they're going to join other researchers in the biological sciences, like Dr. Gemma Casadesa-Smith, who just recently received an NIH grant to really explore new ways of hopefully delaying the onset and progression of Alzheimer's disease. Now, you take that and you couple it with exercise scientists like Angela Ridgel, who really created a bicycle to help Parkinson's patients really work on their coordination and their mobility. Now, you take those researchers and you combine them with researchers like David Fresco and Joel Hughes, who received a grant 2 years ago in the area of meditation and its impact on blood pressure. And I love the title of their study. It is called the Serenity Study. So Todd, there you go. We're going to work on that with our graduate students. Lower your blood pressure. Think about your own meditation, but think about brain health and meditation. And then the beauty of this Center of Brain Health will also involve professors in the humanities like David Hassler in the English department and director of our Wick Poetry Center, who has very much taught me about the importance of poetry and the importance of the written word in really helping with our mental health and our emotional well-being. I invite you to think about a journal of your own as you journey through this graduate program. But you can see what we mean now by team science and crossing barriers to really be on the forefront of leadership and research related to brain health. And we think we can do that as well in the other 4 centers, and it will involve most every one of the 50 master's programs and the 23 doctoral programs we have here for your exploration. And I think what's so wonderful is you are going to be the first graduate student class to think about being a part of that and think about what your own contributions will be. Because I think in graduate study, and Provost Icahn related to this to some extent in his remarks, is that it is very different. In graduate study, it really is like an apprenticeship model where you will be working side by side with faculty researchers and scholars who will be your mentors and guides along the way. And that's what is the rich development of graduate study. It's not the collection of the hours to achieve the degree. It's actually what occurs in those wonderful laboratories and studios and field experiences that make graduate study the unique experience that it is. So I encourage you to not think about credits, but think about experience. Think about how you're going to immerse yourself in the experience of creating new knowledge. And that's the other responsibility you have as a graduate student. Sitting here right now, it might be daunting to think about, well, what knowledge, new knowledge am I going to create? But you will. You will have your own ideas, and you'll have your own spin of how you want to take a field of study and make it your own. But there'll be so many faculty who are there to help you along the way. I think one of the challenges I want to offer you as well is to think about also your responsibility to share your knowledge. Your new knowledge is not valuable unless it's translational, unless it's really shared with not only members of your discipline, but also members of the community who may not understand research, but they understand the power of its outcomes. And so I challenge each and every one of you to think about publishing your first paper before you graduate from Kent State University. We'll help you with that. There are areas where the graduate student program will help you. One of those is this experience that we started last year that is just phenomenal, and it's called the 3-minute thesis competition. And you have to present your thesis idea in 3 minutes in a compelling way, and there's actually a grant for those who have the best explanation in 3 minutes. How do you boil down your whole line of research, your life's work, into 3 minutes? That will help you also think about publishing that first paper. We'll also help you in terms of presenting your research because we have a graduate research symposium every April. Now, I keep challenging the graduate student organization to say this year is going to be the largest year yet for the symposium because I think each and every one of you can contribute to that. And I think we do that in partnership with faculty who will be there with you the entire way. I wanted to share one other way that faculty members partner with you. And that came last year when Dr. Manfred van Dolman in psychological sciences worked with a team of 4 graduate students that won the Sloboda and Bukowski Cup in preventive research at a national conference. And these 4 graduate students, one of them a first-year graduate student, actually presented their work over about 8 months working with big data on prevention research. And they presented it to colleagues from across the country. And our students won that competition. That's the kind of company you're with. And that's the kind of professors who are going to see you all along the way, make this journey that I think is going to be one of the greatest experiences of your life. So think about that, and think about the challenge of graduate study also being this willingness to take risks. Nothing comes easy, and new knowledge isn't created without some failures along the way, because that is how we learn. That is how we take a big body of knowledge and we keep whittling it down until we find the truth as we know and define the truth. So be willing to stick your neck out. Be willing to take chances. Be willing to explore and fail again, because you will ultimately end up with that aha moment that will be one of the greatest joys of your life as a graduate student. So I think in conclusion, this is what I want to say to you. It's a little contrary to my provost, but that's why we're such great partners. I wish for you the greatest challenges you've ever faced. I wish for you the longest of nights that you've ever experienced. Because at the end of that long night is going to be the completion of an experiment or the completion of a paper. It's the exhilarating joy of being part of a research team, that team science. And you're tackling great world challenges. And then the greatest achievement of all is really becoming a part of the community of scholars through completion of your capstone program, your master's thesis, your doctoral dissertation. There is no greater joy than really seeing that through to its end result. And I think you're going to find that joy all along the way. And I wish for you all of that and more. And I want you to know that we're behind you 100%. We're so glad that you are here and a part of the Kent State family. We're one of the largest university systems in the world, but we like to say we're one of the closest families in the country. And I hope you feel that sense of family over the rest of this day and over your entire tenure here at Kent State. So best wishes on your journey. Congratulations on this start. And I can't wait to shake your hand at your graduation when that day comes for you. Welcome to Kent State.